Beats by Gilb, once again, asks, how does the new Gelato beach skip strat work? Now, I will say right off the bat that probably none of you here should be doing this strat, okay? It's a very hard strat. It saves 4 seconds at absolute best. And if you mess it up, you lose half a minute most of the time. Which is why I don't recommend that you do it, because it's a lot harder than regular Gelato Beach Skip. And yeah, it's generally not worth killing a lot of runs in Gelato Beach Skip over a potential 4-second time save. So having said that, I will show off how it works. Of course, it's entirely up to you whether you want to do this trick, and, you know, maybe you find it not too hard, which I'd be surprised. But yeah, there is a reason that almost nobody does this strat. So, for those of you that are unaware, the normal Gelato Beach Skip strat involves grabbing a ledge and setting up a very specific camera angle by pressing the L button, and then you run against the coconut and you clip in. That's the normal GBS strat. But the strat that Guild is talking about is a strat that I do in runs, and you don't need a specific camera angle for this, so I just kind of messed with my camera angle, so it's no longer perfect, but that doesn't matter, and that's why this trick saves time, is because you don't need to bother setting up the camera angle. So how it works, let me take a step back. If you, you can backflip and throw a fruit, and then that will happen. It will kind of throw up. And if you time that in a way that that the coconut lands in a very specific way on top of Mario while he's running forward, it will push Mario through the roof in a very similar way as running against the coconut does. So that's how it works. So what you actually do is you line up about here. It's kind of hard for me to illustrate this, but if you look at Mario's shadow, there's like the big circle. And right below that big circle is a tiny brown, like, stripe on the roof. And that's what I line up with. Like, I put Mario's shadow right above that little vertical stripe. Then you want to hold R because you need to backflip. And you want to start holding forward. And then you need to time the fruit throw in a specific way. And you also need to stop holding A at a specific point. Because if you saw there, you see how Mario, like, he barely goes up after throwing the fruit. But if I hold A... Wait, if I hold A after I throw the fruit, he does keep going up. So you need to control Mario's height to within a pretty specific degree. And that's the main thing that makes this strat hard, is that it's the combination of timing the fruit throw and controlling Mario's height, so you don't go too high or too low. Because all of those factors are going to affect how the coconut hits Mario. So I don't really have any specific cues for this. I just time it, which is why this strat is so hard. But yeah, you want to do the backflip, you throw the fruit, and then slightly after that, you release A. So you hold R, you press A, you get the backflip. Then while you're pressing A, you press B. And then slightly after pressing B, you release A. And then you keep holding forward, and when Mario lands, he will keep walking. And if you did it correctly, the coconut will land on top of Mario and push him through the roof. So let's try and get the clip. See, that's how you clip. And we actually got lucky here. The coconut stayed. So remember how I mentioned earlier that it's very likely that you lose 30 seconds? that's because it's very likely for the coconut to actually go in the water if you do this trick. Now, we got lucky here and the coconut didn't go in the water, but that's the reason why I don't recommend this trick. Is because if you lose the coconut, you lose 10 seconds because you missed Gelato Beach Skip, and you lose another 20 for getting another coconut. So yeah, and then the second part after you clip is pretty much the same as the old Gelato Beach Skip. You just control your speed while hovering, but it's actually harder for this because you clip in at a kind of a different spot and with a lower speed, so it's more tight. It's harder to hover properly. But if you do it properly, just like that, you manage to get the shine. And yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that after you've thrown the coconut and before you clip in, obviously you need to switch to the hover nozzle so that you can actually hover. But yeah, that's pretty easy to do. Like, that's not really worth mentioning. Oh yeah, that is how Backflip Gelato Beach Skip works. Any